Welcome back to the continuing adventures in landscaping. Now, first of all, I got my hair cut. I had to wear a mask. This is probably a first for me. I have never in my life had my hair shampooed while I was wearing a Red Sox face mask. Weird. And I have to admit, my hairdresser was treating me like a cranky baby, mostly because I was acting like a cranky baby, because I was distressed. I didn't know how she was going to cut the hair around my ears. I was sure that my stupid mask was going to get wet. Like life with a mask isn't difficult enough. It has to be life with a wet mask. Oh well. So, haircut, landscape is moving on. Audie is thrilled. Oh, that's the other thing. Yes, I know I have dark circles under my eyes. No, I am not sick. I am not becoming a vampire. I have a cat right here, this one. Come here. This one, who wants to play in the new landscaping and thought it would be a really good idea around 1 a.m. to wake me up, and not let me go back to sleep, because he thought I should let him out to roll in the new dirt. Great. All right, when we come back, landscaping. Okay, landscaping. First of all, I have to apologize for the noise. I have the air conditioning on. I wouldn't be able to do this without it. So, I'm sorry. It is what it is. I have a lot of film for you from the landscaping. Now, you've already seen what the yard looked like before the landscapers began work. Now, this first film is the front yard between the two aspen trees, and this is when they had dug out all the existing mulch, and we were just left with what was there without mulch. So let's take a quick look at that. This is the area out in front. You can see the trees, and of course you can see my birdhouse. So it's right on the street side, and this is getting cleared up now. So what we're looking at is what the ground is like under the mulch. All right. The next film is that same front bed as they were loading fill dirt. This is dirt they've hauled from other sections of the yard in order to level it out. So there were some areas that were high and sloping, and they pulled the dirt and rubble out of that area, brought it over to fill this area in. And then we're going to take a quick look at the third tree. This is a big oak that's in the front yard. As you can see, this area, and this is the front, facing on Zion Road, see the traffic, has been scraped away and is going to be sprayed for weeds. The other thing that's going to happen today is right over here, this big oak tree, and we're going to go over and take a closer look, is surrounded by daylilies, and those daylilies have to be picked up so the area can be retilled and mulched, and I guess landscape fabric will be going under the mulch, which is why they have to be picked up. But we're going to go over and take a closer look. This oak tree is surrounded by daylilies. Well, not exactly surrounded. At some point, that is going to turn into a surrounding. But at the moment, it's about a half a dozen daylily clumps that have been planted around the tree. These are not the same as the other daylilies, the ditch lilies. This is actually a named cultivar, and it's called Stelladoro. They're small, so these plants being tiny is not just the result of them being new. They've only been in the ground a couple of years. They are going to stay small. It's a dwarf daylily, and it's a rebloomer. And it is one of the first, in fact, it might even be the first of the reblooming daylilies. So they're going to have to be taken out so that this area can be tilled. We've got a lot of weeds in here. As you can see, this is all weed. One of the problems with making sure the soil is very rich for the daylilies is that it also makes sure that the soil is very rich for the weeds, and they have just moved in. As you can see, things are moving quickly. The next film that I'm going to show you is the moving of the fill. And what I want you to watch in particular, because I found this fascinating, is how the driver of that little bobcat thing, I think that's what it's called, it's a little thing with a bucket on the front. I don't even drive cars, so I don't know what this stuff is. I think it's a bobcat. Watch how he uses that bucket to level as he goes. Fascinating. What just happened is one of the landscapers came over with that little machine, I don't know what it is, and started dumping soil and debris, a lot of debris that he's picked up from another part of the yard in order to build this area up so that the roots of the aspens are covered and something can be planted over top of them. Now, if you take a look right here at the debris, you can see a lot of this is like the leftover mortar that fell off, you know, from when they were mortaring the bricks into the wall. They just kind of left that mess behind. And so that's being brought in here to be used as fill. Also, as you can see, we have some of the bricks that were left behind and so on. This is just junk that is being dumped here in order to save the cost of topsoil in this area. They're going to build it up to a reasonable level, and then they'll be putting topsoil on top of it. And overall, I think it's probably the smart way to go. That is pretty much what it was looking like in the front yard when it was getting filled up with dirt, and they were getting ready to put topsoil over that. But before we go on to that, we're going to take a quick look over at the daylily bed that was on the side of the schoolhouse.
What we have here is the former daylily bed, and that has to all be taken up so that they can come in here with a tiller and do whatever it is they're going to do, and then the daylilies are going to be divided and replanted. Also, all of those weeds along the side of the schoolhouse are going to be removed. Audie also is out here somewhere. He's been sticking around Amanda, who's been working on this bed. Apparently he likes her, she's his girlfriend now, and he wants to stay away from the noisy equipment. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing his little black tail showing up.
So now that you have a chance to see what it looks like when they dig everything out, this is before they till, before they throw in new topsoil, before they mulch. So at this point, they're taking away from some parts of the yard and using that dirt to fill in other parts of the yard. So we're going back to the front beds because there were a total of 5 people working on this. So I was skipping from one to another in order to get this filmed. So we're going back to the front bed, and this is what it looks like when they have the topsoil on. So this is spreading the topsoil around. From there, we go back to the daylily bed because it's very important that you understand that while all this is going on, these people are not working without supervision. Oh no, a bad cat was supervising them. Fortunately for everyone concerned, these people are all cat lovers because Audie was in the middle of everything. His face was in their shovels when they were digging up plants. He was rolling in the dirt. He was sleeping in the mulch. He was basically bossing everyone around and telling them what to do. So, Audie.
Audie has been fascinated by the process of landscaping. He's got to check everything out. He's got to check everybody out. In fact, the landscapers were surprised he didn't take off. No, he hung around, got in their way, and supervised their work.
Now we go back to the front, and this is when they start. They've got the topsoil on. That's the brownish dirt. And they're laying mulch around the trees. I'm going to be able to plant things in that mulch. Probably nothing but ferns and hostas, because frankly, that area is in deep shade under those trees pretty much all day long. It's in shade in the morning. It's in shade until the sun sets. So ferns, hostas, vampires. It's the only thing that's actually going to survive out there. And this is what it looked like when they were spreading the mulch around that area.
Okay. So this is what it looks like in front with the aspen trees. And what's happening now is they're loading mulch around the perimeter of the two trees. Okay, we'll start again. This is what it looks like in front of the aspen trees. Remember, there's my little birdhouse, and it's all been filled and leveled, and now they are loading mulch around the trees. The trees are going to be ringed with mulch, and we'll plant something in there. Not quite decided yet. It's very shady in this area, so it's probably going to be things like ferns, hostas, whatever can grow in deep shade. The mulch around the trees is mostly there simply so I can cut the grass around the trees without having to get in too close.
It was supposed to rain today, which, by the way, it didn't. And it would be wonderful if it did, because it's miserably hot and miserably humid. And I'm not sure how much good the rain's going to do for the heat, but it'll probably take the edge off the humidity. So when they left, I went out and got some film of the front area. And this is what it looks like with the mulch around the trees. So, picture mulch around the trees, and the brown stuff, because the seed is already in there, will be green with grass. Let's hope. That's what's coming up.
Well, this is the area in front now. As you can see, we've got nice little circles of mulch around the trees, and this area has all been seeded. So there's all grass seed in here. Now we're going to go take a quick look in the back and see what we've got going on over there.
Okay, starting to look like something. It's a nice gradual slope. It's going to be grass. I'm going to be able to get a lawnmower in there, which I could not do before. And if you'll remember back to the very first filming I just showed you on this video, there were tree roots, there was rubble. It was a mess. Nothing had ever been done with that area. And frankly, my idea of dealing with it was throwing a whole bunch of mulch on top of it and just hoping for the best. But we've got a plan now. We've got it built up, soil and grass seed, and two very nice little mulch beds. So then I went around to show you some of the other areas. The back, where they've graded it all out, and the area at the rear of the schoolhouse. There had been a very high slope going up to the schoolhouse. Not sure what that was about, but the yard kind of, got into this saggy sort of thing. They got rid of that. It's all fairly level. They have filled in the crater that used to be my giant oak tree that fell on the schoolhouse. There was another slope on the east side of the property. That is still there because the ground on the east side of the schoolhouse is quite high. But they've managed to sort of even out that slope so that it's not so steep and there won't be any difficulty getting a mower there. And the daylily bed, which needs to be tilled tomorrow, that's the one on the side of the schoolhouse, and then the beds in front of the schoolhouse.
This is the area behind the schoolhouse. They've graded it down so that it's no longer, it used to be a very high slope going from the foundation down. They've got it smoothed out very nicely. That giant heap of black stuff is mulch. So we've got more than enough mulch to sort of cover in anything we want to cover in. This area is all going to be seeded. Well, they're going to go along the fence line with a weed whacker. get rid of the weeds and treat it with weed killer, then it will all be seeded. And right over here on the other side, and right over here on the other side is where the daylily bed was. So that's going to get all tilled up, mulched, and the daylilies will go back. Now this is the area in front of the schoolhouse. This is a witch hazel, and over here we've got the 2 planting beds directly in front of the schoolhouse on either side of the steps. They also had daylilies in them and will have daylilies in them once again. Now this is the eastern side of the schoolhouse. There had been plantings under the window, and they had to be removed because that was regraded. It looks like a steep slope, but actually it's more gradual than it had been before. They sort of smoothed that out so that I won't have any difficulty getting a lawnmower up here. And a close-up of our mulch pile. Yes, that's going to be enough mulch. And then you can see what's going on here in the back. And finally, this area is where the big oak tree was. It had originally lived right about here, fell and dropped over onto the top of the schoolhouse. It was the size of this oak tree, probably about 40 feet high, huge. So, looks like that's where we are now. The landscapers actually expect that this will be done tomorrow. My goodness, do they work fast.
So, not bad given the fact that this is day 3. I think it's day 3. Yes, day 3. They believe they are going to be done tomorrow, and I do not doubt it. They are working really fast. I can't believe they're doing this in 90-degree heat, but they're landscapers in Pennsylvania, which means if they're not willing to work in 90-degree heat, they're not willing to work. And frankly, I've asked them, and they say they enjoy being outside, that it is what it is as far as they're concerned. So that's been great. The only thing that has gone off track was a change that I made. Originally, I thought we would have to mulch out that whole front area around those 2 aspen trees, because that's what I had done before. Turns out we don't, which means we ended up with more mulch for other areas in the yard, which is a good thing, but less topsoil than we need for other areas of the yard, which is a bad thing. So I believe I told you that the cost on this was $3,644. Well, we've got another almost $500. It was like $490 on top of that. So we're looking at about $4,100 and change, because that was an addition to the job. Now, that's what happens when you change plans right in the middle. And I will say, because this was me, my bad, I was the one who changed the plans. In my defense, I have to say, I had no idea they were going to be able to achieve the kind of results they got when they were working around those aspen trees. If I had known that, I would have said going in, well, we don't need all this mulch, but hey, what can I say? It's all good in the end. And given the fact that I felt their estimate was, or the cost, because we're not dealing with an estimate, we're dealing with the actual job cost, I thought that was very good going in. So am I distressed about another $500 worth of topsoil? No. because good quality topsoil is going to give my plants and my grass the best chance for survival. And given the fact that I'm in charge of their survival, they are going to need every chance they can muster. So that's where the landscaping is going. Now, in addition to wandering around filming landscaping today, I also went down to Bedford Antiques. So I have a shopping video coming up for you, and I am finally on top of all the giveaways. The mega giveaways have all gone out, so I can start putting stuff in my Etsy shop again. That'll be nice. But I did want to say I had another thought on giveaways. And I want to throw this out because I haven't made a decision about this. I'm throwing this out to the community. You tell me what you think about this. A lot of our viewers have their own eBay shops, well, eBay listings at the very least. They are selling on eBay, or their own Etsy shops, or shops on other online platforms that are not getting a lot of traffic. And we have a community that can be tapped into. Would you be interested in having me throw out to our vending viewers the option of offering a giveaway? In other words, if they want to take one of their items, something they've made, or I would hope it would be something they've made, or something they've thrifted, offer it up as a giveaway, and as the entrance qualifications for the giveaway to visit their shop. How would you feel about that? I think it might work to throw a little spotlight on our own, and this is our own community. These are our own viewers. These are our people. These are the ones commenting on the videos. These are the ones we are getting to know. So, what do you say? You want to throw out a little publicity to their shops in exchange for a giveaway? Think about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Meantime, have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.